about Miss Sandy Michelle, legendary.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Oh, really? I will not tell the age, though.
No.
A lady never tells her age. Well, I was born and brought up. My father's side of the family came from Quebec City, Canada. So all my grandparents and my relatives on my father's side are French Canadian. My mother came from Virginia, and somehow they met, and I grew up in. Well, we lost yesterday. You figure it out. Steel City, USA, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Well, when I grew up as a kid. And I met all the trannies, and there were plenty tranny bars at that time, which amazed me. I was always amazed. And then, I got into it, and here we go. And there we have it. Yep, I'm a promoter, and I've done drag shows. I've been all over the U.S. I've worked in Hawaii. I've worked in San Juan. I've worked in Montreal, performing, and now I promote parties.
That's fantastic. Maybe you can answer a big question for everyone. What is a stealer? Do you know?
A stiller. They're pronounced stillers. Oh. Stillers. That's the Pittsburgher way of saying stealers, but we call them stillers.
But what is it?
Because Pittsburgh used to be a major steel building capital. Like if you, up and down, there are three rivers that go into Pittsburgh. There's the Monongahela River, the Ohio River, and the Allegheny River, which is Allegheny County, Pennsylvania. And if you go up and down, I think it's the Monongahela River, which goes from downtown Pittsburgh to the Pennsylvania Turnpike, you'll see like all the steel mills used to be in Homestead, East Pittsburgh. It was a big steel mill manufacturing city.
Wow. That's great. So you've been doing party promoting, legendary here in New York parties. How did you get into that? Where did you start? And what's going on now? What parties are happening?
Well, years ago, I used to, when I came back to New York, I was at different parties. I was doing shows with China Kitty, who now lives in L.A. We worked, there was a place called the Fabric Factory, then there was Speed Limit 55, and of course everybody knows Sally's and Edelweiss. I used to work for Edelweiss. I used to do shows there like twice a week, and eventually, as time goes on, things change. So bars start to close. He had problems, what I mean. I don't need to go into detail, but anyway, the license was taken. And at that time, the only person left in the city, I think, was Gloria Wholesome at the MNAAB bar, which about half the city ended up being barred out of.
Where did Gloria go? I haven't heard.
Someone said that they saw her. Someone mentioned to me, we were talking about her maybe when I had the party in the summer, because my party in the summer was right across from the old MNAAB bar. So somebody said they had seen her. I guess she's still with Gil, and you know how that goes. But then in like 2002, I just decided, I says, well, I've been in this business. I know the routine. I've ran a male strip club in the 90s called Cat's Bar in Hell's Kitchen for like 5 or 6 years with some of those gorgeous dancers. And I knew the routine, doing drag shows, doing this, being in the bar business. I said, let me throw in my hand and give this a try. So at that particular time, I scouted out a place, and I found a club called Flamingo, which was at 14th and 2nd Avenue in the East Village. I just can't seem to come out of the East Village. But anyway, these were Orientals. They were very nice. And I said, at that time, my sister, who passed away, as long as you out there might know, Grandma, we called her Tangy. Tangy was around the scene for a long time. She worked the door for Sally's. She worked the door for me. She always supported me with anything I do. God rest her soul. She's upstairs looking down. But anyway, we decided to do the party, and I decided to pick a Wednesday night. And I promoted, and all my friends came, and the party started to go, So then I spoke with the owner. I said, well, why don't we move this party and do a Friday night? Because everybody said, girl, you need to do a Friday night. You need to do a Friday night. I won't tell you. Well, the reason why they want me to go up against Gloria Wholesome. That's the thing in New York. Everybody is in competition. They want you to go up against the next person. So I decided to speak with the owner, and we spoke with the owner, and we decided so we had Wednesday and we had Friday nights. And we were upstairs Friday night because there was a fetish party downstairs. And that went well. Of course, I had to fight with a couple of times with the Vice Squad coming through. We need, you know how that goes. I don't need to say who sent them. We can all figure it out. 1 and 1 is 3. But anyway, the parties went on, went fabulous. And then all of a sudden, one of my friends recommended, says, why don't you bring along a star as a guest? I said, well, that would be a good idea, because I was looking for different things to keep my parties exciting. Because in the past, you know, we had salads, you had drag show, you had go-go boys. Edelweiss was basically a drink bar, girls on the bar dancing, you know, and all these places were, you know, hustling type joints, which most tranny places are, but we try to tend to upscale the place with like drag shows. That's what I prefer in my parties. I always prefer drag shows because that's how I was brought up, in a drag show type environment. You can have the go-go girls, the titty dancers, the go-go girls, but you always have a drag show. Men like variety when they come to see trannies. They just don't come to see titties. They want to come and see entertainment, costumes, glamour, and all that. So I spoke with Alana Starr. She agreed, and we had a big party to start her off. By this time, of course, as you know, with club owners, they're very riff-raffy and shady, and my temper goes for so long. So packed up my gay bags and moved the party on to a new spot, because we had had a falling out. So now from 14th Street, we're up on 28th Street and 7th Avenue at a place called Club Demerara. We had a big grand opening, and Alana Starr was a big success. From there, I went, and I had another night at a place, once again, back in the East Village, Tapis Rouge, which was on Avenue A between Houston and, what's that street goes by train? 2nd Street? Yeah, 2nd Street. It was right next to the library, right before you get to Houston Street. Anyway, the owner there happened to own another club in Midtown called The Shelter, which was Ricky. So by this time, I spoke with Ricky, and so that's how I introduced Alana. Alana decided to go ahead. She was a big success with the parties. I decided to take a break because I wanted to do some traveling, wanted to do et cetera, et cetera. So I gave it a couple of years break. And about 2008, a friend of mine's come up to me, a straight girlfriend of mine's, because, you know, I frequent a lot of straight places, especially after-hour clubs. I just love them. The hot men, all the nonsense. You know what I mean. I don't have to go into it. This is a very adult but family-oriented show. Anyway, a girlfriend comes up to me about February of, I guess I've been doing this now, what, about going on 3 years? It was either 2008 or 2007. She says, girl, I got a spot for you right in Chelsea. The guy wants a Monday night, wants someone to take over Monday night. I said, are you for real? Monday night? She said, yeah, Monday night. I said, well, give me his name. So she gives me his name. She says the club is called CL Lounge, and 9th Avenue between 18th and 19th. Go speak with the guy. She says, I know the guy, you're practically in. So I tossed it around with a couple of friends of mine. I said, what do you think? Well, of course, a couple of them said, well, girl, are you serious on a Monday night? Are you crazy? I thought about it. So then it was either April. I said, I'm going to do this. It was either April of 2007. No, it had to be 7 because I hadn't had my dog then. I said I would do a grand opening in April, and I started a Monday night party at this club, CL Lounge. Well, it turned out to be a fantastic hit. I mean, we had guests there. Amanda Lepore showed up. Caswell came. Of course, Sunny Delight, who also does parties in New York, who was one of Alana Starr's girls. She showed up to give me support. Alana Starr came a couple of times, and the party just turned out to be fantastic. And ever since 2007, I have been doing parties. Of course, I talked the owner into doing a Wednesday night also. So we had 2 nights in Chelsea Wednesday night. But of course, he acted up, and I had to move it on out. Girl has to get...
You've seen so much. I mean, you've seen so many different reinventions of New York.
Yeah.
You've lived all over the place. What is it like now? What are the parties like now in comparison to what they were? Are they more wild? Are they less wild? Are they? I mean, what's the difference? Like, what has changed?
Basically, nothing but time and faces. And you still have some of the same old faces, pulling some of the same old stunts, doing some of the same old tricks. You add it up. And we have some of the same lovely gentlemen still patronizing the clubs also. Nothing's really changed. The only thing's changed is that from having two places where you go night after night after night, people now have a variety. They can catch me on Monday and Wednesday. They can catch Sunny Delight on Tuesday and Thursday. They can catch Sunny on Friday down at the, I call it the end of the earth because it's all the way downtown by Ground Zero. So I call it the end of the earth. But she has a fabulous crew down there on Friday. And then you have Alana Starr. And you also have the lovely that does the Silver Swan, Ina, who has this party at Silver Swan on 20th Street between Park and Broadway on Saturday. And you also have Alana Starr with 2 nights at Fusion in Hell's Kitchen. So nothing's really changed. You got the same girls scamming, working the guys, doing this, doing that, and a couple of new ones. But then we got new spots, so it kind of brightens it up to you going, oh, where you going tonight? I'm going to Edelweiss. I'm going to Sally's. I'm going to Edelweiss. I'm going to Sally's. So now you got places to go now. So it picks up the vibe. But, you know, you just have to keep the places going with a lot of live action. Like, you know, you have to do specials. Like I try to have drag shows a lot because Queens really, well, girl, why you keep having drag shows? I said, honey, who's paying the girls? Who's running the party? Me or you? It's my party. I'm going to do what I want to do. You come and you sit and you entertain the gentlemen. That's what you want to do. I'm doing this. The guys are coming. That's all you need to worry about.
Okay, Sandy. So you tell him, Miss Sandy. Now, you mentioned there was a lot of party promoters here because I know I've been to other cities and they don't have, either they don't have tranny parties or they have like one a night. And in New York City, you practically have one every night. You do have one every night except Sunday nights. And you have...
Sunday night's been tried here, and it's like I was offered Sunday night many times and said no, because my other partner who promotes Sunny Delight, she tried it several different times. Sundays here just do not work. I guess guys said, the hell with those bitches, honey. 6 nights a week's enough.
Yeah. And, like, you know, talking about all the party promoters, the transgender party promoters, like you have Alana Starr, Sunny Delight, Ida, is it Ida? Ina, Sandy Michelle. Who else do we have? Those are pretty much it, the big time party promoters. Sometimes Dina Delicious used to do a party, but how do the promoters get along? Is there competition, or do they share the girls? Because I know the girls go to both parties, all the parties. They don't care. They just go to the parties. So how do the promoters get along? Do they keep in touch, or do they like stay away from trying to do another night on someone else's night, or how do those unspoken rules go?
Well, when I came back into the business, it was like, you kind of say, I'm from the old school. You know, like I introduced Alana. She did her parties. Her parties are a success. She's still doing it. Sunny was working with her, so Sunny picked up from her. And right now, there is no problem. We all work together. No one tries to come for me on Monday. I wouldn't try to go for a Sunny on Friday. I've been offered, would you like to do a Friday night? No. We all keep our nights. I have Monday. Sandy has Monday and Wednesday. Sunny does Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Bianca does Friday at Fusion for Alana, and Alana has Saturday. So we all get along. And I mean, I patronize them. They patronize me. If I have flyers to give out for an event, I can go to Sunny. I'm more than welcome to pass out flyers. I go to Alana. I'm more than welcome to pass out flyers. Vice versa. I mention their parties at mine. So we all get along. It's not a cutthroat thing where I'm going to move in and try to snatch her business on Monday, or I'm going to try to move in and snatch her business on Tuesday.
And is that different? Was it cutthroat before?
No, because it was basically in the 90s, it was basically Dino and Sally, Mama Sally, God rest her soul, and Dino, and that was it. I mean, after the Fabric Factory, That was in the late 80s. And then he opened up Speed Limit 55, but then it was basically between Dino and Mama Sally. And of course, Mama Sally liked me. She read me one time. She says, I'm not going to allow you in here because you working for Dino. Because I started with Dino when he first started. His wife had a restaurant on 29th and 7th. was called Edelweiss, which was a German restaurant. That's how he started. I remember the day he first started. I was with him from the time he started almost until they closed him up. But anyway.
It's amazing. So much. No, I mean, so much New York history, and it's fantastic. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, and thank you so much for giving the girls a place of their own. That's really important because, like I said, we go to other cities like in Los Angeles and Miami, and there's nothing for the girls to go to. And the thing is that we're stuck in the middle because we can't go to the gay clubs that much. They don't really, want us there sometimes at the gay clubs. The straight clubs we go to, but sometimes we get discriminated against. So it's like really important for the girls to have their own place, even if it's a crazy, sexy night or whatever, you still know that you have a place thanks to Sandy Michelle, Alana Stars, Sunny Delight, and all these ladies that promote the parties. And that's why we've done parties also here in Queens because it's, it's really about giving the girls their place and saying we have a place just for you, so thank you so much for that.
And I think giving everyone a place to just feel free because I mean you have all different kinds at your party, it ranges so much.
It will be.
It's like people feel completely free. There's very few places where you feel completely free, and your parties are definitely one of them.
Basically, the owners that I deal with, especially the guy I'm dealing with now in the East Village, that's why snow, go away so the business will come back like it was in the summer. They said summer is usually horrible in New York. I had the best summer here. I mean, right after the holidays, it's just starting to pick up. But I mean, it's like that you have to snow on a Monday, snow on a Wednesday. I said, well, what is this? And the guys get scared because they can't catch the train, they can't do this. It's just crazy. But I mean,
But summer's coming.
Spring and then summer. So lastly, tell us exactly about where your Monday party is, where your Wednesday party is, and where do we find you online?
Tonight, if you're in New York City. Oh my God, you still have time. Polish that body up, fellas. Girls, throw those lashes on and hit it. Every Monday night, meet me in the East Village, 1 block from Lucky Chains, well-known establishment. We're at Karma, Karma, Karma Lounge, downstairs. The address, 51 First Avenue, between 3rd and 4th Streets, accessible to all Houston Street subway lines. On Wednesday night, I kick it right over to Midtown. Bryant Park, I upscale the act a little. We're minutes from Times Square, minutes from Grand Central train station, minutes from all subway lines at Bamboo. 10 East 39th Street between 5th and Madison. It's a sushi place in the day, but we take the fish out at night and bring in you know what. It's a fish sticks. And